Our story starts with a boy named Kiyotaka Ayano Koji on a bus, and a girl is trying to see if anyone would give up their seat for an old lady. Everyone on that bus was like,
"Shut your lame ass up, nigga."
I'm just kidding. A woman gives up her seat. We find out they are students of a school, the Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School, an institution established by the government for training Japan's best students. A girl that was on the bus pressed him for looking at her.
I'm sorry, I was just curious, well, you didn't want to give up your seat either. I was wondering if, like me, you'd rather stay out of it.
I'm nothing like you. In my case, I stayed silent as a matter of principle.
That makes her worse than me.
If that's all, goodbye.
After the student council president named Manabu Horikita gives a speech, Ayano Koji ends up being in class 1D. Same class with Shawty from earlier. Everyone goes around introducing themselves. Ayano Koji's turn was,
I'm Kiyotaka Ayano Koji. I can't wait to study with you.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Not gonna lie, I already know that was a lot of people in class for real. Class D homeroom teacher Sai Chabashira explains the point system where everybody gets a monthly allowance of 100,000 points that they can use as money at local shops, with 1 point equaling 1 yen, and also warns the students that they are judged on merit. Ayano Koji later learns that girl's name while shopping. Her name is Suzune Horikita. Motherfuckers was already bullying too. He begins navigating through the system, being careful about how he spends his points while becoming friends with Kikyo Kushida, helping her to become friends with Suzune. In an attempt to become friends, Ayano Koji brings Suzune to a cafe where only girls meet, having secretly arranged for Kikyo and 4 other classmates to be there. But Suzune sees through that bullshit and leaves. As the month of April passes, the majority of Class D lavishly spends their points and slacks off in class without any consequence, causing Ayano Koji to be suspicious. On May 1st, the D-class students are surprised to find out that they did not get an allowance, and Sai explains that their allowance depends on merit, and having ignored their studies, the class receives 0 points for the month. They learn about the S system.
I have written the current scores held by all first-year classes. For every point the class gets, 100 private points are distributed to each student individually. When the school year began, each first-year class was allotted 1,000 collective points. To be frank, you people lost every point you had.
Class D has the opportunity to be promoted to Class C should they perform exceptionally well on exams. She also warns them that anyone else who fails one more exam will be expelled. Meanwhile, Manabu looking at his sister in the dark with Class A students. Suzune treats Ayano Koji to an expensive lunch to discuss strategy. Everybody is taking their studies more seriously, except for the 3 biggest idiots of the class, Ken, Kanji, and Haruki. She wants to bring them to the library to study. Suzune's goal is to get to Class A. They soon succeed in getting them to come, thanks with the help of Kikyo. Suzune was playing on this nigga's phone. I don't care what anyone says. At the study group, the 3 of them soon leave. Suzune did not give a fuck, saying good riddance. Kikyo decides to help them out still. Suzune started pressing her ass too, asking if she trying to sabotage her, which caused her to run away, upset. While Ayano Koji gets fresh air one night, he sees Suzune with her brother.
I'm going to be in Class A soon. Then you'll see.
Don't bother.
I promise. I know I can make it.
You're an irrational little brat. Do you ever stop to think of the shame you bring this family? My own little sister in Class D? Pathetic. Withdraw from school if you know what's good for you.
Brother, please just listen.
You don't have the right to better yourself, nor do you have the ability to do so.
Ayano Koji stops that shit. Then they start boxing. Manabu starts to realize that Ayano Koji is hiding his true intelligence on purpose. Surely. Then he takes his leave. Time passed again, and it was time for exams. The results came in, and everyone passed. Well, everyone except Sudo, who missed the passing threshold by 1 point. Stupid ass boy. The grades were the result of Ayano Koji spending 15,000 points to buy exam questions from an upperclassman 3 days earlier, which isn't against school rules. He also didn't want the credit of getting the answers and sharing with the class, so he let Kushida do it. Since Sudo failed, he will be expelled. Afterwards, Ayano Koji finds Chabashida, asking her whether equality exists, and she answers that it does not, and he agrees. Ayano Koji offers to pay with points so Sudo won't be expelled, and Chabashida agrees, but she wants 100,000 points. Since he doesn't have enough, Suzune pitches in with 50,000 to increase the test score by 1 point so Sudo can stay in class. After celebrating in Ayano Koji's room, Kushida asks if Suzune is his type before leaving. Kushida leaves her cell phone, but Ayano Koji returns it to her. When he sees her, she said,
"So you think you're better than me just because you're prettier? I hate your guts! I swear to God, I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! I wish you would just drop dead, Horikita! I hate you! I hate you! stupid cow!
Oh wow. Then the phone goes off, giving him away.
Did you hear me?
If I told you that I didn't, would you believe me?
If you breathe a word about this to anyone, you'll pay.
How exactly?
I'll tell everyone in the entire school you attempted to rape me. I have the evidence to prove it. Your fingerprints and DNA in a very telling location. That's all the proof I need.
I understand. Can I please go back to my room?
If you betray me, I'll make you pay.
This nigga is crazy.
Meanwhile, in Class B, they drunk-ass teacher reveals their class points and celebrates, thanks to Ichinose helping them pass. Later on, Ayano Koji gets asked by Ichinose to pretend to be her boyfriend before someone confessed to her. The person pulled up, and it was a girl too. Ayano Koji told Ichinose to just tell her straight up, and she does. She not gay. Class D's point distribution is put on hold due to an incident the previous day involving Sudo and 3 basketball teammates from Class C. Sudo was attacked and fought back in self-defense. However, due to poor reputation, he will be liable unless the class can find a witness to clear his name before the hearing next week, which would consequently result in the class without points for the month. In an attempt to manipulate the case in their favor, the 3 Class C attackers secretly request classmate Kakeru Ryuen to attack them with the help of this big-ass nigga.
Bad boy.
With the help of Ichinose, Class D students post messages asking for witnesses of the incident. Ayano Koji gets a peep at her points, and she had 2.6 million. Good lord, she rich. Suzune tells Ayano Koji and the others that Airi Sakura was there and witnessed the incident with her camera. The next day, Sakura is approached for the evidence, and she inadvertently drops the camera. She freaks out when she cannot use it, thinking that she broke it. Later, Sakura, Ayano Koji, and Kushida inspect the camera, covered under warranty, at the electronics store. Store clerk asks Sakura about her contact information, but Ayano Koji uses his information instead. Freaky ass nigga. Later on, thanks to Kushida, he soon figures out that Sakura is the internet model that became a big hit recently. At the hearing presided by Manabu, both classes give their testimonies accusing each other of instigating the fight, with the initial ruling going in Class C's favor. After staying silent, Ayano Koji knocks Suzune out of spacing out by pinching her shit. Suzune asks what the circumstances were for the fight and points out that in a 3 against 1 it is impossible for injuries that serious to be all what Sudo did. She presents Sakura as a witness, providing evidence that she was present as she captured the fight going on in the background during a photo shoot. However, the evidence only proves that she was present and does not clear Sudo of any wrongdoing. Class C homeroom teacher Sakagami proposes a compromise to suspend Sudo for 2 weeks and the 3 Class C students for 1 week, but Suzune rejects it. Realizing that one side is clearly lying, Manabu ends the hearing, saying he will announce his decision the next day unless admissions or additional evidence is presented. He mentions that he can expel any student. Damn, bro got pulled like that? Sakura returns to the dormitory and finds photos of her in her mailbox. GG's. Taking advantage of the delay in the final ruling that was made possible with the photo, Ayano Koji and Suzune set up a trap at the stairwell. Kushida sends a fake message to the 3 Class C students, ordering them to meet her at the special annex in order to draw them to the stairwell, where Ayano Koji and Suzune are waiting, and Ichinose installed security cameras. This helps them trick the Class C students into believing neither side stands to gain by going forward with this complaint, and that the trio stands to get expelled because they told a lie that got the school involved. As a result, the Class C students agree to withdraw the complaint. Afterwards, the electronics store clerk, who's a big fan of her alter ego Shizuku, attacks Sakura.
We are destined to be together. I know you'll feel the same way.
Local electronics store employee caught in the act of sexual assault. You're gonna be famous. No, infamous is more accurate.
Ichinose and Ayano Koji got his ass arrested with the quickness. Chabashida gives Suzune advice, which is to keep an eye on Ayano Koji, since Class D is a place for defectives in the school, and she believes that he's one of them. Later, Manabu offers Ayano Koji a position on the student council, and he refuses to join. Then Ryuen sticks this big ass nigga named Albert on the Class C students as he vows to destroy Class D, B, and A. Suzune wants to know about Ayano Koji's past, but he plans to help her reach Class A in return of her not prying. A group of Class D students and Operation Leader Hideo meet up to discuss preparations for peeping on the girls inside the change room. Classic, with everyone invited and enjoying the pool, Haruki sneaks into the women's change room as a janitor to secretly install cameras, under the pretense of closing it for cleaning. However, the students of Class C and Class A enter near the room, with Manabu coming as well. How the fuck did he land this jump? Motherfucker, go be a superhero. Go to the league. They lead to a tense standoff, entrapping Kanji there. Needing help to escape, Hideo informs Ayano Koji about the situation and gets help from Suzune. Suzune stands on the top of a diving platform to have a speech about Class D ascending to Class A someday, allowing Kanji to escape. Suzune removes all SD cards from the cameras to foil the operation. We get a flashback that Ayano Koji warns her in advance. Ayano Koji tells her that he used her and that he had to let the operation happen due to the possibility they would have done it behind his back. Suzune tries to act like she and Nino friends and ain't have fun at the pool, but we soon see that wasn't the case. For a class trip, all first-year students are taken on a luxurious cruise ship. Ayano Koji finds out from Chabashira that an unknown man had contacted the school asking for him to be expelled. Chabashira offers to cover for him in order for him to reach Class A. Suspecting that she may be manipulating him, he refuses, but she warns him that if he does, he will be expelled and stripped of his freedom. Sus. Some of the Class D students ran into Katsuragi from Class A. How you bald and got a butt chin in high school? Pick a struggle. Ayano Koji discusses with Suzune about the trip's destination. He tells her that he suspects the school is taking them to a boarding house on an island owned by the school for an ulterior motive. Ryuin tries to manipulate Suzune about the security camera. Another student from Class C, Mio, tries to confront Ryuin about something, but she's stopped by Albert. Suzune remarks that Class C could be on the verge of collapsing from the inside. Saka Yanagi plots in the background and investigates with other students. Later, Sakura practices to ask Ayano Koji out, but folds when he pulls up on her. When Kushida sees them, Sakura is embarrassed and leaves. Ayano Koji tries to leave, but is stopped by Kushida. When she reverts to a bad personality, she tells him that she could sense his wariness of her, which he confirms. Kushida switches back to a good personality and confesses that she feels lonely when left alone.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
The next day, the school informs all the students of the real reason behind the trip. They are required to take a survival test on a deserted island for a week. What the fuck type of school? Yosuke explains from the manual how the survival test works. The class gets 300 test points to buy food and other conveniences. Whatever remains at the end of the week can be exchanged for class points. The class loses test points for injuries, polluting the environment, missing roll calls, and violence against any classes. While Class D determines to tough it out, the girls plan to use a portable toilet, but everyone starts arguing over it. But soon, Class D determines to save up points. The group finds a camping spot, and Ayano Koji accompanies Sakura and Koenji. Oh, now this buff nigga Tarzan. Ayano Koji leaves Koenji, while he and Sakura look for a spot to secure, recalling what Chabashira said about possessing a spot, and that only the designated class leader can do it, and each possession that lasts for 8 hours gives the team one special test point that is only redeemable for class points. On the last day, they also get to guess other classes' leaders for 50 points, but if you get it wrong, you lose 50. While looking for a spot, Ayano Koji sees Katsuragi holding the leader card while talking with his classmate. Good thing they ain't get found out. Had Sakura a week after. Class D reconvenes and sets up camp at the spot by the river. Suzune is chosen to be the leader for being responsible and not standing out. While gathering firewood, Ayano Koji, Haruki, and Sakura find Mio injured. They end up taking her to their camp and Kushida gives her some food. The class plans a strategy for spending their points as they set a limit of 180 points to buy 2 meals a day, a toilet, a tent, and 30 for unforeseen situations. However, the class suffers a setback when Koenji withdraws, claiming he's sick, costing 30 points from Class D. Look at this nigga. Ayano Koji and Suzune go recon the situation at other camps. Class B's camp is set up near a waterfall and operates much like Class D's camp but at a better location. Class A's camp is in a cave that is heavily guarded. Suzune ignores it when Katsuragi summons more students and warns her that she might start a war. Yeah, this bald fuck pissing me off. It's not that deep. Class C's camp is on a beach where under Ryuin, all points have already been spent and the class treats this test like a vacation. Ryuin did this knowing that they would not be penalized if they had spent all their test points beforehand. We also find out that he was the reason Mio looked fucked up.
Look, some people need to be gone, bro. You know what I'm talking about, in order for shit to get better. And he one of them.
That night, someone had secretly broke into the girls' tent and stole the phone from Class D camp. On day 4, Ayano Koji and Sakura meet Ichinose at Class C's camp and learn that everybody except Mio is withdrawn from the test. On day 5, Kei loses her underwear. Class D conducts a bag search, but Haruki finds it in Kanji's bag. Freaky ass nigga. Ayano Koji ends up taking it, but the girls demand a pat down. When the pat down search is conducted, Yosuke finds it on Ayano Koji, but reports that he cannot find it. Later, he talks with him and decides to take the underwear since it's his girlfriend's, and wants him to find the real culprit for him. W-Mans. In response to the panty fiasco, trust is broken and the girls of Class D are separated from the boys in camp. Why this was so important, I don't know. Mio asked Ayano Koji about his opinion on who it is, and he said he trusts her. Had her ass blushing. That night, Ayano Koji and Suzune sit by a campfire and he notices that she's been sick during the entire test. Suzune has been resting in her room during the cruise in order to recover from her illness and is determined to tough it out. The next day, Class D gathers food in advance of a rainstorm. While fishing in the river, Ayano Koji asks Suzune to check the leader card, confirming whether it is real like the one Katsuragi was holding. However, he's still unsure after seeing it. Haruki puts mud on Suzune, and she wasted no time throwing him to the ground near Ayano Koji. While Suzune cleans her hair, someone has secretly stole the card. She tells Ayano Koji and they assume Mio took it. Shortly afterwards, someone has burnt the survival test manual, and Mio was there, in shock, which ends up leading to even more trust issues for Class D. Suspecting that it was Mio's doing while she is from another class, Suzune confronts her, but Mio starts attacking her. While they were fighting, she realizes that Mio was also the one that stole the panties. But sadly, Suzune fails to retrieve her card from Mio. Mio brings the card to a mysterious student. Mio notifies Katsuragi through a radio that she has secured Suzune's card. As Class A and Class C are revealed to be working together, Ayano Koji has Suzune drop out of the test. On the final day, the students pack their camps and the classes guess the leaders, with Class B opting not to make any answers. At the assembly, Ryuen reveals that he secretly forged a pact with Katsuragi to transfer 200 test points to Class A in exchange for info on the other classes' leaders. Mio and Kaneda looking like shit was his doing and part of the plan. Class C quickly spent their remaining 100 points and everyone except for those 3 withdrawed from the test. Ryuen then guesses the leaders: Yahiko Totsuka from Class A, Shihiro Shiranami for Class B, and Suzune for Class D. The results are revealed, and Class C ends with 0 points. Bro was shook. Class A with 120 points, Class B 140, and the winner is Class D with 225 points. The students return to the cruise ship where Sakayanagi reveals that things went according to plan and making everybody mistrust Katsuragi to weaken his leverage over the class, as her ally Hashimoto secretly outed Class A's leader to Ryuen. Ayano Koji tells Suzune that he allowed Mio to steal the card, and he became the leader, replacing Suzune, ensuring that Class A and Class C incorrectly guessed her. As for guessing the other ones, he reveals that he only saw the backside of Katsuragi's card, and knowing how cautious he was, he deduced that Totsuka was Class A's leader. He was aware that Ryuen had not withdrawn, leading him to guess him as Class C's leader, as he saw him with the same radio Mio used. Refusing to jeopardize Class D's alliance with Class B, Ayano Koji opted not to name Class B's leader. The rest of Class D ends up thanking Suzune. In a meeting with Chabashida, Ayano Koji finds out from her that the man who wanted him expelled was his father. Ayano Koji tells Chabashida that despite his father's warning, he will defy him. Ryuen reveals that the main motivation for the alliance with Class A was he would sign a contract to receive 20,000 points from each student of Class A every month until graduation. Crazy. Suzune confronts Ayano Koji for earlier, but knowing she needs allies, Ayano Koji told Yosuke that she was responsible for Class D's victory in order to have others put their trust in her.
Look, I acknowledge that we are allies, but I'll only do it grudgingly, so don't get any ideas, okay? It's just for our goals. We're working together to get to Class A, but despite that, I have to tell you, thanks for your help.
But Horikita, I've never considered you an ally. Not even for a second. Not Kushida. Not Hirata. People are nothing but tools to me. All of them. I don't care what I have to do to win. I don't care what I have to sacrifice. In this world, winning is everything. And in the end, I'm going to win.
Akane Tachibana reports that the first year's special test results to Manabu.
How will you overcome this next challenge, Ayano Koji?
The first years are informed of a second special test. Each student can meet at a rendezvous point at a certain time. Ayano Koji accompanies Hideo, Yukimura, and Kei. An instructor explains the special test. The students are split into 8 groups of 14, with 3 students from classes A and B and 4 from C and D, and each group is under the name of a planet. The test is 4 days long, and at 8 a.m. on the first day, the school declares a member of the group a VIP. And the group discusses who the VIP is twice a day. After 30 minutes of the final day, everyone but the VIP sends a guest to the school. There are 4 cases of the test. Case 1. If everyone but the VIP's classmates sends the correct answer, each student will receive 500,000 private points, and the VIP an extra 500,000. Case 2. If at least one person excluding the VIP's classmates sends a wrong answer, the VIP receives 500,000 private points. The remaining 2 cases apply if the VIP is exposed before the end of the test. Case 3. If a student sends the correct answer, they will receive 500,000 private points. Their class will earn 50 class points, and the testing period will end for the group. If the VIP's classmate sends the correct answer, it will be deemed invalid, and the test will continue. Case 4. If a student sends a wrong answer, their class will lose 50 class points. The VIP will receive 500,000 private points, and their class will receive 50 class points, and the testing period will end. Additionally, if the VIP's classmate sends a wrong answer, it will be deemed invalid, and the test will continue. On the day of the exam, neither Ayano Koji and Suzune are VIPs. They talk about the test when Ryuen asks Suzune if she's a VIP and has the outcome of the first test. She denies both claims, and Ryuen threatens them, wanting to find out who won them the last test. At the first discussion, Mars group does introductions. Afterwards, Ichinose suggests going for case 1. And while everyone agrees, Koji and his Class A classmates abstain from all discussions. After the discussion, Shiho and the Class C girls from the Mars group approach Kei, claiming she had bullied Rika, and Kei denies it. Koji comes to her aid, and she thanks him. Oh hell nah. During the second discussion, the group is at a standstill, and Ichinose suggests just chatting and going with the flow for now. At the end of the first day, Kei breaks down in the shower. I wonder why. Yosuke receives information from someone about Kushida being a VIP, which he tells to Yukimura and Ayano Koji. Koenji presumably discovers the true VIP, and as a result, the Jupiter group's test has ended, which causes Suzune to be pissed off. She and Ayano Koji decide to unite Class D to get the most class points. To do that, they decide to use Kei as a primary player, since she has a powerful presence amongst the Class D girls. Ayano Koji notes that Kei has been passive compared to her arrogant attitude. Ryuen declares his intent to win the test. He convinces his classmates to give in their phones so he can receive the results. Before he leaves, he proposes that Class B, D, and C should unite to take down Class A, which Suzune refused. Kei recovers from her breakdown and refers to herself as a parasite, as she is codependent on others. Ayano Koji and Kushida find each other, and he tries to leave, but she abruptly hugs him beforehand. Ayano Koji watches as Kei begs Yosuke about Shiho and the other Class C girls, to which he agrees, but states that he and Kei are not dating. Oh shit. He's done with him after he suggests that she must apologize to the girls. Ayano Koji asked Yosuke why they lied about it, and Yosuke said that he agreed to protect her, given that she was severely bullied in the past. Before the third discussion, Kei asks Ayano Koji if he's the VIP, and he says he isn't. After both discussions for the day, the Mars group is still at a deadlock. Koji says he'll call Kei later. I see you, nigga. Ayano Koji and Yukimura notice that the girls are following Kei. The boys trail behind them unnoticed. The girls confront Kei, and she finally admits what happened with her and Rika. She starts getting bullied, and Ayano Koji and Yukimura hide in the hallway and watch the girls insulting Kei. Then Yukimura couldn't take it anymore, and he finally stepped in. That gets them to leave, but Kei was pissed that he helped her. On the third day, the Venus group's test has concluded. Thinking that Class C is trying to exploit the test, Ayano Koji sends an email to Shiho. Kei is lured to a secluded spot on the ship. Then Rika and the girls arrive. Then Shiho realizes that Kei was bullied before. Kei tries to run away, but gets grabbed and slapped. Shiho has Rika slap Kei, even though she was hesitant at first. Then, as she kept going, she started to like that shit. While Ayano Koji watches, revealing that his email to Shiho was for this to happen to Kei. Bro said this was necessary for the plan. After girls leave, Ayano Koji approaches Kei and presses her shit. Bro said,
"Let's see how far you're willing to go. Spread your legs."
That gets her to open up about experience of abuse. Ayano Koji finds a wound on her chest upon seeing that he vows to protect her in exchange for working with him to unite Class D and win the test. Afterwards, Ayano Koji accompanies Chabashira and spends points to buy something. Before the final discussion, Ichinose and Ayano Koji talk about Class A despite being in different classes, but confirms that it is possible to reach Class A with 20 million private points, which he then admits that he saw her points from before. During the final discussion, Tetsuya Hamaguchi from Class B proposes that everyone show their email that they got to reach Case 1. Even with the risk of someone exposing the VIP first, everyone complies one by one until Yukimura hesitates to show the email, shocking everyone when he reveals that he's the VIP and implores everyone to protect him until the end of the test. Then we find out Ayano Koji created a ploy by trading his and Yukimura's cell phone, meaning Ayano Koji is the VIP. But Ichinose exposed it after calling Ayano Koji's phone. Come to find out, Kei and Ayano Koji talked about the real ploy. After deducing that she's the real VIP, he proposes that not only they switch phones, but SIM cards, which he went to Chabashira for. Ayano Koji, you slick dog. Ichinose reveals that she knew about the plan, but she does not expose it due to her alliance with Class D. Then they see Class C wins the test. Ryuen comes and found out Kushida was one of the VIPs thanks to Suzune, and decides to target her next semester. The VIPs were chosen based on their name's position in Japanese alphabetical order and the corresponding planet group of said VIP. Class D talks about how Class C is not fully united. Later, we find out the school will hold a 13-event sports festival with the theme of Team Red versus Team White. Team Red consists of classes A and D, and Team White consists of classes B and C. The sports festival has several merits. The top 3 placements have a choice between 1,000 private points or bonuses on their written exam. And demerits. The bottom 10 placements lose bonuses on their written exam. and classes can decide participants for the events. Ayano Koji and Suzune discuss that strict preparation separates the sports festival from the previous 2 special tests. She wants to win by unfair methods, but he believes they can win by normal ones. Later, the class decides on choosing participants through skill or volunteering. Suzune suggests that they should pair any students to win the events, at the risk of the weaker ones losing out on merits. Kei disagrees with Suzune. She refutes that personal choice for events is better, and notes that she looks down on everyone and cannot unite the class with that attitude, and wants everyone to choose their own events. She asks Kushida for her thoughts, and she says that they should find a way to combine ideas. Eventually, the class decides to vote on whose idea is better, and the majority chose Suzune. Later, Kei and Ayano Koji discuss how he ordered her to oppose Suzune's idea and get Kushida's opinion. Ayano Koji predicts that there's a traitor amongst Class D and interrupts the conversation when Kei demands more. Class starts to train for the festival. When Suzune argues with someone, Ayano Koji wonders why she cannot compromise. She believes that weaker people are to match the stronger people's rhythm to win. Then he offers her to be her partner in a 3-legged race to match her pace, and he was cooking her shit. After doing it, he notices that she ignores her allies. Ayano Koji tells Suzune and Kushida to surveil Team White, believing Kushida has sold the VIP information. When Suzune presses her about it, she denies it. The sports festival begins. Ken motivates Class D while Sakayanagi of Class A observes the festival. Team Red loses the top of the pole event after Ryuen defeats Sudo. Things get worse when Suzune gets injured with Saki Kinoshita. After failing to convince Koenji to rejoin, Suzune wishes she was more like Kushida and admits she liked her at some point. Team White continues targeting Sudo and Suzune, continuing to lower the Class D's morale. Ayano Koji tells Kei that he believes the Class D traitor leaked the participation list for Ryuen to target Sudo and Suzune. He then says that he never wanted the class to win the festival, and that doing nothing is optional. Sudo gets more pissed, and eventually he ends up leaving. Ayano Koji tells Suzune to be useful and convince Sudo to rejoin the team.
Ken Sudo can be that weapon. In the right hands, he'd find his worth. Use him in the same way I use you.
Such a wild thing to say. Kei and Yosuke ask Ayano Koji about the traitor, but he does not budge. Kushida and Suzune head to the nurse's office where Ryuen allegedly accuses Suzune for hurting Saki. Bro, they fucked her shit up. Ryuen demands 1 million private points or he will tell the school of the incident. Suzune thinks it's a bluff, but Ryuen demands the points and for Suzune to submit to him, to which he will wait for her answer at the end of the festival. Visiting Manabu in the hallway, Suzune implores that she knows her incompetence and will not trouble him anymore. She says that she has one thing to do for the festival. When Suzune scolds Sudo, he admits that he joined the festival for attention and to get back at those for talking bad on him. Suzune then says that he must keep fighting or he will be worthless and will await his return. Before the break ends, Ayano Koji confronts Kushida about her being the traitor. She initially denies the accusation, but poses a notion as to why he did not change the list if he knew she leaked the participation list. Then she realized that would have caused interclass confusion. She finally admits that she's a traitor for leaking the list and selling her VIP information to Ryuen for a desire to see Suzune expelled before the year is over. Of course, she doesn't say why, then says she want to get Ayano Koji expelled too.
How about, since you like her so much, I'll make sure you get expelled with Horikita. That way I won't have to look at your face again.
Suzune tries to convince Sudo one more time, talking about how they are the same and seeking acknowledgement from others. She talks about how she always been seeking acknowledgement from Manabu, outcasting herself from others to reach it. After going through her experiences with Class D, she realizes that she cannot fight alone and needs more allies. The talk no jutsu worked. Sudo rejoins the festival and apologizes for his actions earlier. Suzune and her partner gets replaced by Kushida and Ayano Koji for the final event. Manabu and Ayano Koji talk about the future of Class D, and they both challenge each other to a race during the relay. As they receive the baton in the end, Manabu ends up winning. At the end of the festival, Class D ends up coming in last, but praises Ayano Koji for his performance. Suzune meets with Ryuen and Kushida to reveal the answer. Suzune confronts her about her being the traitor and says to drop the fake appearance. She realizes she's the same girl she used to go to middle school with. Kushida drops the act and reveals her intention to expel Suzune by any means necessary and remove those who know her past. Then Ryuen in the back like,
"Oh, really? Tell me. That list includes me, doesn't it?"
Shut the fuck up, nigga! For once!
Ryuen reveals that he had Kushida give the participation list and instructed Saki to hurt Suzune and pretend to be injured. The whole time, Suzune has been recording for her protection. Then Ryuen says he's been recording too. Lying ass nigga. Then he receives an email from an anonymous user, a recording voice about the evidence. He praises whoever the mastermind is in Class D. Manabu resigns from working with the student council. We don't know why, but he's replaced by Miyabi Nagumo from Class 2A. After the assembly, Katsuragi from 1A advises Ayano Koji to be wary of Ryuen, as well as letting Suzune know. I don't think she needs it. She needs it. She's locked. After he leaves, Maya Sato from 1D asks Ayana Koji to exchange numbers and implies she has a crush on him. When I saw this, I was like, how can we get her involved into the story type shit? Despite Class D coming last for the festival, no students are expelled, much to Chabashida's surprise. She allows the class to know about the next special test that will serve as their final exam. It's called Paper Shuffle. 2 students will be paired up and must score above 60 points as a pair. Even if X student scores 0 and Y student scored 60, they will pass. If a pair falls below 60, they are both expelled. The pairs will be determined through a mini test, and there's a threshold for the total points from all subjects. Each class will make questions for the exam, which will be answered by one of the other 3 classes. The class that made the questions can request the other classes to do the test, and there will be a lottery in the event of a double request. The requestee and the requester will go head to head, and whichever class scores higher will steal 50 class points from the other. Cheating will result in immediate expulsion. Suzune and Ayana Koji suggest preparing the class for the paper shuffle. Kei and Ayana Koji exchange emails about her witnessing Maya's confession. He saw her ass too. Kei, Yosuke, Sudo, Suzune, Ayana Koji get ready to prep for the exam, and Kushida tags along too. Ayana Koji and Suzune plan to rejoin the others as they leave to prep, and she prepares to tell them about her past. Suzune explains that she and Kushida attended the same middle school. Sometime before graduation, an incident imploded a class, and a rumor had it that a single female student was the reason, and that girl was actually Kushida. Ayana Koji suggests she gets Kushida expelled, but Suzune believes she can make Kushida their ally. Maybe she can go 2 for 2 with the Talk No Jutsu. Meanwhile, Ryuin identifies Shiho as the traitor of Class C. Ryuin hypothesizes that the mastermind is either Ayana Koji or Yukimura, based on their witnesses of Shiho bullying Kei. Ayana Koji and Suzune rejoin the others to devise a plan to have some students flunk the mini test, so the highest scores compare with the lowest one to create an average threshold. They decide to choose Class C to answer their exam questions. That night, Kei and Ayana Koji have a conversation about Sato. He says she ain't asked him out, and he still vows to protect Kei. Had her ass cheesing. Nah, she on his body. The next day, the class got the mini test results, so Ayana Koji will be paired up with Maya. Kushida reminisces her thoughts on the aftermath of the class implosion. Oh lord, she crazy. Class D will have study sessions for the paper shuffle, with her and Suzune as overseers. Kushida leaves the class as she receives an email. Miyake and Hasabe say they are going to need help studying, and Yukimura volunteers to tutor them. Suzune asks Ayana Koji to join Yukimura's group and track progress. Look at Sakura, y'all. At this session, the students encourage Ayana Koji not to hold back, given his performance at the festival. He advises preparing for any dirty tricks Class C might make for them on the exam. He says they should make questions to get rejected on purpose, noting that the school might have a system to mediate questions. That same day, Ayana Koji relays that information to Suzune as the two discuss keeping an eye on Kushida by inviting her to oversee the group. Ayana Koji receives an email from Ryuin asking who is the mastermind of Class D. After the study session, Suzune meets with Kushida alone. They make a bet for the math exam of the paper shuffle. Kushida will not try to get her expelled if Suzune scores higher, or Suzune will get expelled if Kushida does. To acknowledge it as a real bet, Suzune gets Manabu to witness the agreement. After he leaves, Kushida senses that Ayana Koji is on a call with Suzune and asks him to meet with her. At the meetup, Kushida adds another condition that if she wins, Ayana Koji will get expelled, to which he agrees. He wants to know about Kushida's past to see why she is the way she is and get the whole picture, and she complies. As a child, Kushida was praised for being a top achiever, and she craved praise and attention, which eventually stopped. She decided to become the nicest, friendliest, and caring person, so the others could rely on her and trust her. This eventually took a toll on her mentally. Despite continuing to put up a front to combat her distress, she created a personal blog where she gossiped about her classmates. Then one day, her classmates found her blog and shunned her. Tired of keeping up a front, she revealed every secret for all classmates, which eventually turned them against themselves and imploded. She implies that she knows truths about some Class D students, vital enough to ruin them. Yeah, she got it. She finishes her tirade by reminding Ayana Koji and Suzune about the conditions of the bet. Kushida informs Ryuin of her bet with Ayana Koji and Suzune in exchange for their expulsion. Kushida will let Class C win paper shuffle in exchange of getting their answers. Later, Ryuin intrudes on the study session and vaguely asks about the email to fish out the Class D mastermind. The Class C student, Hiyori, notes that Ayana Koji and Yukimura have forgettable faces, so she's not sure if they're the mastermind. What the hell? We got motherfuckers who can read faces now? Feeling comfortable with the study group, Hasabe decides to make a friend group where they share their names. Yukimura, rather, they call him Keisei because his mother named him and she left. Sakura joins the group as well, and they are named the Ayana Koji group. Nice. That night, Ayana Koji asks Kei to play an important part in the study group. After the call, she sends a birthday wish to him. Oh my god, she really wants this nigga. The next day, Suzune tracks the progress of everyone's study group. Kushida reminds them to try their hardest, to which Kei becomes annoyed. She calls Kushida fake for trying to motivate everyone and not caring when someone fails. Kei splashes a drink on her, but apologizes for the incident by cleaning her uniform. Sometime later, Kushida volunteers to submit the test question and asks Chabashida to discard any other copies from Class D. Kushida gives the questions to Ryuin as per their deal. The test day comes, and while Kei grabs Maya away from Ayano Koji, Yosuke noticed that Kei has a crush on him and would be even happier if they dated. During the math test, Kushida is shocked when she sees the questions. After the test, she presses Ryuin for what happened, who lets her know that Suzune saw through it all. Ayano Koji tells Kei the whole plan. Suzune asks Chabashida to accept her copy of the questions and discard the other ones before Kushida did. He had Kei plant a cheat sheet on her as plan B.
I hate that stupid bitch!
Ryuin finds a cheat sheet on her uniform, knowing Ryuin handed his class copy to the Class D mastermind, betraying Kushida. She reluctantly agrees to fulfill her side of the bet, but declares that she will sabotage Ayano Koji. Ayano Koji made a trade offer with Ryuin, and he would either give Class D his class copy or change Kushida's questions, to which he chose the latter. Ryuin plans to use Kei to reveal the mastermind. Him sending a pic of her had that nigga Ayano Koji seeing red. Every student passed the paper shuffle. While witnessing Ichinose and Sakayanagi hanging out, the Ayano Koji group notes that everything about Ichinose is perfect, which they find unsettling to defeat Class C for her. Christmas was around the corner and Sakura tried shooting her shot with Ayano Koji, but there goes Hasabe gassing it. A Class C student follows Kei around. That night, Kei lets Ayano Koji know of the incident and that a Class A student was spying on their group. The next day, all Class D students are being provoked by Class C. Suzune notes that Ryuin is doing this to exploit the mastermind. While returning Suzune's book to the library, Ayano Koji helps and talks to Hiyori, despite being in rival classes. Wow, she was actually a normal girl. Afterwards, Chabashida takes Ayano Koji to meet someone in the reception room. It was his father. He has not seen him in a year and a half. He tells him that the butler has killed himself after helping him escape and apply for the school. Ayano Koji left his family to take an independent path, despite his father's warning. He forces his son to sign the school withdrawal form and rejoin the White Room. However, Mr. Sakayanagi, the school chairman and Arisu's father, arrives in time to prevent the abuse, allowing Ayano Koji to stay at school. After the meeting, Ayano Koji apologizes to Kei for using her and will stop his desire from motivating Class D, as he will leave that to Suzune and Yosuke. Then says this is the last time he will be talking to her. If she ends up in trouble, he will help her though. Wow.
Do we have to be strangers again?
Our relationship was purely transactional from the very beginning. I was under the impression you didn't like being my pawn either.
Of course not, obviously.
Are you sure about that?
As if! You're delusional!
Then I don't see what the problem is. Goodbye.
Bro was not lying. He was avoiding her ass. Ryuin comes into Class D, and as soon as Koenji leaves, Ryuin and his men give chase, making Class D concerned. In the courtyard, Koenji is confronted by Class C students as Ryuin starts instigating by breaking Koenji's mirror. Arisu and Class A students arrive as well. Koenji assumes that Ryuin is seeking the Class D mastermind and diffuses the situation by claiming that he has no interest in the interclass war and is not the mastermind. Ryuin soon believes him, but Arisu starts teasing him, which triggers him to kick her, but Hashimoto defends her. As everyone leaves, Ryuin tells the Class D students that he has a plan for them.
Why are you doing this?
I'm just enjoying myself. The truth is, it makes my heart race. This burning feeling in my chest is like finding your first love.
Oh, he for real obsessed with it. When Ryuin, Mio, Ishizaki, and Albert lure Kate into the construction site, they force her to reveal the identity of the mastermind, with Ishizawa pouring water on her. It's cold as fuck too, so she was cooked. Waterboarding her too? Oh my lord. Bro was for real enjoying this shit. She was still not budging. Ryuin said that the mastermind doesn't care about her, but she still didn't fold. After almost hanging out with the group, Ayano Koji asks Chabashida and Manabu for help. Manabu really only helping for a promise he made with him, to help Suzune get onto the student council. Ayano Koji arrives at the site and reveals himself as the mastermind. Then the moment comes when Ayano Koji had to get out of getting jumped, when he said,
"There were only 4 of you. You'll need more than that."
They should have took the hint. He put Ishizaki in a hold immediately, then started dodging Albert's attacks, even had Kei shook. He drops Albert, then Ishizaki. Then Mio gets into the mix, with her kicks hitting straight air. Then he knocks her out. Ryuin was still cocky, but literally gets dropped. Ryuin ends up choking Ayano Koji up on the wall. He gets him off him, and they start boxing. After hitting him, Ryuin starts saying he can win this round, but he gonna keep coming after him, which Ayano Koji replies by decking this nigga in the face 2 times, but Ryuin grabs his arm. Ryuin says he hasn't felt fear in his life, but Ayano Koji hasn't either, and had that dog in him. and breaks out Ryuin's hold again. They start boxing again, and Ayano Koji soon mounts him and starts pummeling his ass. Knocks his ass out. Ayano Koji then reconciles Kei and says he's not asking for forgiveness, but he will save her no matter what. Absolute masterclass. Ryuin decides to drop out of school. Mio is mad as fuck, not trying to let him quit. He ain't care. And then she said, you know what? Fuck you, nigga. And kicked his ass. And then tells him to go fuck himself. When Kei was alone, she started to realize she had feelings for Ayano Koji. Oh, you don't say. Later, Maya tells Kei she's going on a date with Ayano Koji and asks for her advice, as well as trying to make it official on Christmas. Damn, one date is all it takes? Who want me? Maya also asks her about making it a double date with her and Yosuke. The next day, Ayano Koji tells Suzune she should join the student council. Then she talks to her brother, insisting she should. There go Kushida hating. Ayano Koji tells Ryuin that he will continue to observe Class D's progress to move up. Ryuin will end up staying at the school as well. He reveals his prediction of Class D reaching Class C, and then it will get demoted due to his intention to get Kushida expelled in the 3rd semester. On Christmas Day, Ayano Koji, Maya, Kei, and Yosuke go on a double date. After this, Maya and Ayano Koji are alone and she confesses to him. Ayano Koji tells her he doesn't feel the same and lacks romantic feelings for anyone. Of course, Kei was hiding.
I still don't understand. Why did you turn Sato down?
Why would I settle for her when I already have you?
Nah, who he feeling like? Ayano Koji receives a gift from Kei, and she receives cold medicine from him. Come to find out, he planned this whole thing with the abandonment gimmick, keeping her under his thumb. As they leave, Ayano Koji runs into Arisu.
I know exactly who you are. The ultimate masterpiece of the White Room. Though as far as I'm concerned, you're nothing but a false genius. But don't worry, I'll make sure to bury you.
Really now? Well, you are welcome to try.
Later on, we see our Class D is now the new Class C on a field trip to the mixed training camp for the 3rd semester. Ryuin's group moved to Class D for demotion. The class will be split up with other classes by year and gender. They'll be graded as a group depending on the 4 tests they have to pass on the final day. The groups that fall short of the borderline will have their leader expelled along with another member who is chosen by the leader. Dinner is the only time they're together, and their phones will be confiscated. Suzune chooses Kushida as her sub-leader for the girls. While all students arrive, Ayano Koji decides who to focus his energy on to save from his class. The students are then informed they will all be able to make their own groups and carry all of their stuff up a mountain. Yeah, this school is different. The boys Ayano Koji gotta stay with is a crazy blunt rotation. Later, Suzune tries to talk no jutsu with Kushida, but she was still dismissing her, saying they will never get along. The next day, groups are doing mundane tasks around the grounds. After Haruki accidentally trips Arisu on her walking stick before leaving, she tells Ayano Koji that she will bury Class B first before she gets to him. We also find out that the 2.6 million points Ichinose got is the whole class's points combined. That night, Ayano Koji tells Kei that he has some people he wants her to watch. Ayano Koji meets Manabu after for a favor. Manabu wants Ayano Koji to take out Nagumo and introduces him to the student council vice president, Ikuto Kiriyama, who serves him. Nagumo's abusing his power, and they trying to stop that shit.
Manabu Horikita, you might lose this one.
During dinner, Ayano Koji returns the amulet to Nazuna Asahina, a second year, who is not a fan of Nagumo. In return, he asks what the girls talk about when they are divided into groups. Another night, Ayano Koji notices Hashimoto go out and meet Ryuin, as well as Manabu and Nagumo, conversing about something. It was the day of the exams. Ayano Koji's group went through the first 3 tests with no problem. The last test was the marathon, and his group was lagging behind, but Ayano Koji made up for lost ground. All the boys' groups make it through, with Manabu's group getting the highest score, winning his wager against Nagumo. But Nagumo says otherwise. The group leader, by Momoko, is the only girl group being penalized, and she chooses Akane to be expelled with her. It was a trap targeting Akane the whole time. Manabu sacrifices the points to save Akane from expulsion, so in the end, nobody is getting expelled for real. Sometime later, Ayano Koji and Kei discuss about Nagumo, and said,
I wouldn't allow them to expel you. I'd do whatever it took to save you.
After all students and teachers return to school, Arisu tells Nagumo that she's going to launch an attack on Ichinose that may lead to her being expelled. Ayano Koji and Suzune discuss the truth about Yosuke and Kei ending their relationship. Haruki leaves the class and follows Arisu. Totally not sus at all. Later on, Suzune pulls up on Ayano Koji telling him about the rumors that are spreading about Ichinose. She invites her to talk about them in person and says she assumes it's Arisu. Ayano Koji agrees with Ichinose that they shouldn't get involved. Once he gets home, he receives a phone call from an unknown person.
Who is this? Start talking or I'm hanging up.
Kiyotaka Ayano Koji.
And you are?
The next day, Ichinose and others get a note of another rumor about her being a shoplifter. Ayano Koji learns from Masumi that she herself has been in trouble for shoplifting before, and Arasu caught her lacking. That's when she started making her work for her. After she proves she wasn't lying, Ayano Koji receives a phone call from Manabu, and he tells him that Kushida has made contact with Nagumo. On Valentine's Day, Yosuke is the only dude to receive gifts of chocolates. Aight, Mr. Bitches. Hashimoto eavesdrops on Ayano Koji and Kei, spending time together near the library. After they talk business, Kei gives him chocolate. Okay, she's shooting. And shortly after Hashimoto pulls up on him, he starts accusing them of having something going on between them, but they play it off. Hashimoto gives his contact info to Ayano Koji before leaving. Later, Ayano Koji got 5 chocolates. Who the hell? He soon delivers a package to Ichinose while she catches a cold. The next day, all students receive the messages about misinformation. All receive messages about rumors about people in their class. Haruki tries to get evidence out of everybody in Class C. Bro was literally rage baiting his classmates. Most of the students accuse Hashimoto in Class A as the culprit for spreading the rumors. Kanji informs all students of Class C about Arasu's group of Class A visiting the students of Class B. She confronts them about lending all of their points to Ichinose and threatens to drop another allegation. Then Ichinose decides to come clean. Ichinose reveals the truth that she was a shoplifter 4 years ago while living with her mother and sister. Ichinose visited her mother at the hospital. Her mom overworked herself trying to get her little sister a gift for once since they wasn't well off. Unable to get any part-time jobs, Ichinose stole a hairpin her sister wanted as a birthday gift. However, Ichinose got slapped and chewed out by her mother and they returned it to the store. She spent 6 months rebuking herself and read an encouragement note from her mother. Determined to restore her trust to her family, Ichinose arrived at the high school and started studying there. Class B ain't switch up on her. Thank God. Hold that L, Arasu. The students of Class B plan to save Ichinose from expulsion. Nagumo comes in with teachers forbidding spreading any more rumors. Ayano Koji meets up with Arasu after telling her that he already knew about her shoplifting, realizing that Masumi was lying using an old can she shoplifted a while ago. Arasu then decides to have a competition and puts her expulsion on the line. She will need to tell everyone that he's Class C's mastermind to determine the winner. Also that she will need to tell everyone that he's Class C's mastermind. To determine the winner, they will use the upcoming special exam to determine the winner. After a meeting with Arasu, Ayano Koji tells Kushida thanks for the help and was able to get Kiriyama to help him out about getting the rumors posted about Ichinose. The next day, Ayano Koji gets some chocolates from Ichinose for helping her. After everyone passes the final exam, Chabashida announces a special exam to all students of Class C, and it will be a class vote. In 4 days, a student can evaluate other classmates and vote for 3 of the most deserving praise or criticism. The student with the most positive points will receive a protection point. Before any student will be expelled from school, he or she can reverse a decision. The student with the most negative votes will be expelled. The goal of the exam determines for any students between positive or negative votes. Any student with protection point cannot be transferred to another one. The expulsion does not have a penalty. The voting will be repeated until a failed student gets expelled. A positive vote from a student outside of the class can be added, but it does not control the outcome. The school will overturn the expulsion if the students spend 20 million private points. None of the students can abstain or vote anonymously more than once. The vote will be held for 4 days. After class, Ayano Koji's group decides to use each other's votes on each other. Suzune Ayano Koji talks to Ryuen about the upcoming exam. Suzune believes he's going to be the one to be expelled from Class D, but Ayano Koji thinks otherwise. The next day, Ayano Koji talks with Ichinose, and she offers her positive vote just in case. Nah, she likes him too. Arasu soon comes to speak with him, saying her father got suspended from his board position, assuming this test was set up to get him expelled. So she decides to postpone their competition. Then we see Ichinose meet up with Nagumo to let her stay at school, and his condition is...
You should go out with me, Honami.
Oh, nah. Students in Class C were on edge until the exam. Asahina catches up to Ayano Koji and tells him about the meeting that Ichinose had with Nagumo. Ayano Koji talks to Ichinose and doesn't think she's doing anything wrong if she goes through with it. Yeah, she was definitely feeling him. The next day, everyone was more calm, meaning everyone has come to a consensus on who they are voting for. It had Ayano Koji's group worried it was one of them. Kei calls Ayano Koji, and it was revealed to be that he's the one the class is trying to expel. He then meets with Kushida to get info on who's trying to get him expelled. She says it's Haruki, but he knows it was Arasu that orchestrated the whole thing. Lying that bit. He then calls Manabu. The next day, Suzune consults with Manabu on the school roof getting advice. Before the special exam starts tomorrow, Suzune chooses Haruki as the one that deserves to be expelled. Bro was panicking crazy as hell trying to blame others in the classroom. Before everyone votes, Yosuke starts crashing out and is against Suzune's idea and is putting down her name as his negative vote.
Okay.
The next day is here and the voting begins. Before the results were revealed, Haruki tells everyone there was no point voting him because Class A got positive votes for him. So the number of negative ones that Class C gives him will be negated. Does he know? The top 3 with the positive votes was in third, Kushida, second was Yosuke, and first was Ayano Koji, which shocked everybody, mostly Suzune. That's when Haruki starts crashing out and Koenji stops him. Say goodbye. In Class A, Totsuka was the one to be expelled. In Class D, Manabe was gone. That's karma for real for bullying. Ryuen got saved thanks to Ayano Koji and the help of Ichinose. After Ryuen confirms the final results at the end of the day, Ayano Koji receives a message from Arasu. Ayano Koji and Arasu meet up and she tells him that she used all of Class A's positive votes on Ayano Koji instead of Haruki because she ain't forget about Haruki tripping her on the class trip. They then meet the new school acting chairman, Tsukishiro. This dude wasted no time tripping Arasu and grabs Ayano Koji. He relays a message from his father telling him to leave the school, but he does not comply. Then he takes his leave. Ayano Koji asks Arasu to have a battle with him for the next exam, and she agrees. The next day, Chabashida discusses about the final special exam, facing off against another class. It will be based on events they choose. They cannot take duplicated ones, no events that will prove difficult with equipment, seasons, and number of people. Academics must be part of the curriculum and classes must write 10 events. On the day of the test, each class will choose only 5. The school will choose randomly for a total of 7 rounds. No student can join for the second time until everyone participates once. You must have a team captain, and they can't participate in any of the events but can help preparing for the subjects and win bonus points if the class wins. However, the leader will be expelled if the class loses. After school, the leader can select an opponent class by lottery. Suzune pushes the class to have Ayano Koji be the team captain, especially since he has the protection point. Ayano Koji, Arasu, Ichinose, and Kaneda are all the team captains for the event, and they're all the ones that have protection points. Class D is going against Class B, and Class C against Class A. After class, when Yosuke crashes out again and leaves the classroom, Ayano Koji talks to Kei, and he gets a gift for her birthday. Ooh! The next day, the class decides on their events to choose, and Class A wrote down chess, and we all know who chose that. While Yosuke gets isolated from all students, Yukimura tells Ayano Koji and Suzune about the condition that the students will spend 20 million points in order to move to Class A and have Katsuragi join their class. However, Katsuragi refuses, but he's willing to give out his guesses on the 5 events Arasu is going to choose. All he wants is for Arasu to be destroyed in return: chess, English, math, modern literature, and mental math. Ayano Koji will tell Suzune when the time is right. Later, she calls him to meet to discuss the plan she made. For the chess event, he decides Suzune should be the one to play. Michan and Koenji fail to persuade Yosuke, but Ayano Koji asks him to overcome his negative emotion. Yosuke tells Ayano Koji that his close friend had a suicide attempt and was sent to the hospital, and he's still in a coma to this day, which caused him to choose violence and coercion in his class. Ayano Koji tells Yosuke that it's his own fault that Haruki is expelled.
If you really wanted to save him from it, then you should have done whatever it took without exception.
In the end, Yosuke reconciles with the students of Class C, while Ayano Koji and Suzune play an online game of chess. The next day on the special exam, Ryuen takes Kaneda's place and meets Ayano Koji, Arasu, and Ichinose. In a past flashback, Arasu watches Ayano Koji playing chess back when he was in them white rooms. In the present, Ayano Koji and Arasu compete while selecting students on each event. First event was basketball. After starting the game off good, Ayano Koji subbed Pseudo in, and Class A started showing their true colors, but it didn't matter. Class C ended up winning. Other students compete on other tests, and Class C ends up having a 3-2 lead. The next event was mental math. Yeah, when that shit was moving, I'm not gonna lie, fries. Class A wins with Katsuragi and Emi defeating Koenji and Chiaki. In mental math, Arasu talked to Katsuragi beforehand and said if he betrays them, she was getting someone in Class A expelled. We tied 3-3, and the final event is chess. The match starts and Arasu and Ayano Koji get involved. In the end, Ayano Koji and Suzune ran out of time, and Hashimoto defeats Suzune. After the final exam ended, Tsukishiro reveals the truth that he interfered in the game, forcing Ayano Koji to forfeit with the protection point and let Arasu win the exam. Arasu was pissed and says he will pay for this. Ayano Koji discusses with Arasu about the exam. Ayano Koji beats her when they remade the same scenario. She comes around and teaches him about human contact.
It may seem strange to you, but there's nothing wrong with the warmth of human contact. I hope you'll remember that.
I don't understand what you mean.
You will one day. Sorry for taking so long to give you this.
After Manabu tells the students and staff at the graduation ceremony that on his last day that he will leave the school, Chabashida tells the students of Class C that they have succeeded the test. Ichinose and Suzune decides that next year the alliance will be no more. Ayano Koji recalls his memory about calling Arasu's father on the phone. He makes a plan about packing Tsukishiro up and letting him know he plans on graduating since he knows he's going to get sent back to the White Room, so he wants to cherish these 3 years. Ayano Koji attends the meeting with Arasu, Chabeshira, and Mashima. They all decide to help deal with Tsukishiro. On Manabu's last day, Ayano Koji and Manabu say their final goodbyes. Before he leaves, Suzune cuts her hair short and impresses him before parting ways.
Suzune, I care about you even more than you could possibly know.
Do you really?
Of course. And in 2 years, you'll find me right here. I can't wait to see how much you'll have grown.
Yeah, and I'll show you. I'll keep fighting hard, right to the very end.
We'll meet again.
We will.
W siblings, y'all. While all students spend their time off from school, Ichinose promises Ayano Koji that she will reach Class A someday. Then this motherfucker said in his head,
The future isn't certain. Nevertheless, if it ever seems like Ichinose is about to fall to ruin, I'll be there to deal the killing blow.
I deadass started laughing. She for real has feelings for his ass too. After talking to Ryuin, hoping to have a rematch in the future, this nigga really said,
One day, I will crush you.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'd welcome it.
Maya tells the girls that she thinks Ayano Koji has feelings for Kei, and that the feelings are mutual. I mean, he did invite her to see her in person just to see if she was still wearing his necklace for real. Ayano Koji meets with Tsukishiro, and Tsukishiro said that another kid from the White Room will be coming to the school next year. If he can tell who it is, he will withdraw. Ayano Koji says he will prevail. Ayano Koji talks to Chiaki, and she asks him about him and Kei. Suzune calls Ayano Koji, and they decide on having their own private competition on the second year written exam. If he wins, she has to join the student council, and if she wins, he has to go all out from now on. Then sometime later, Ayano Koji asks Kei the question.
Kei.
What?
Listen, if you don't like what I'm about to say, feel free to completely ignore it. Will you date me? I'm asking if you'd be willing to, go out with me.
Okay.
This relationship is necessary for Kei Karuizawa's growth and development. At the same time, it's good for mine too. I'll use Kei to learn about romance. That's something I couldn't learn about in the White Room. Once I'm done reading the textbook known as Kei, I won't need it anymore. Or maybe I'll find myself in a future where that's not the case. Let's hope.
Holy. So with that, we gonna end for now. See y'all for season 4. So until then, I'm out.